Right, so this is a suggestion via a donation. The name of the video is why winning the lottery is the worst thing that can happen to you. I don't know, guys, but I wouldn't say that, but let's check it out. I can think of a couple of things that would be much worse than winning the lottery, but let's see what this takes.
No doubt you've all had the conversation with your friends about what you do if you won the lottery, or how much you'd give away to family and friends. How many problems might that cause? Or would you just spend, and live a life of selfish luxury? According to CNN Money, the biggest lottery win ever was $1.586 billion. But it was divided between 3 people.
That's still a crazy amount of money.
A year later, in 2017, one woman...
They're probably getting like 200 apiece. 200 million apiece, like after the taxes.
$758.7 million, and she decided to take the lump sum of $480.5 million. If you don't know, you can take your win divided
that's before taxes.
Over a number of years or all at once. Sounds great, but tell us what you think about that after this episode of the Infographic Show.
Guys, I can tell you right now, just based off of this, I'll tell you what I do. It also it depends on the amount, right? But let's say, I don't know, guys. So I have three children. What I would do is, first, number one, S corp, right? Just for like tax stuff, right? Number two, hire all of them regardless of age. As my kids, I can give them like somewhere around $12,000 a year just by hiring them, and I can give them an earned income, right? Now, from an earned income, we then do an IRA, right? Let's say an IRA that'll have a max, like allowed not spending, but like allowed depositing of like say $6,000. Then they can have a $6,000 allowance split between 12 months. So let's say $500 a month, whatever. That's what you get for free, right? For working for the company, while the other half goes into an IRA on a yearly basis, right? That's what I would do. I'll make sure my kids are going to be set up at least. I do not want the kids to be wealthy. Right. That's not no. Right. So we're going to make sure that they have at least enough money to, by the time they get of age, right, they'll be able to start whatever companies they desire, or go to colleges that they desire. But most likely they'll be going to college in Spain anyway, and that's free. So yeah, right. But so at least I'll have some extra money to invest in businesses, et cetera, et cetera. But number two, I'm going to Andorra. That's the number one place, right? I would go to Andorra. I would also move my S corp to Dubai, take everything out of the United States. And I'd live my life, right? Nothing different, nothing normal. I mean, nothing abnormal. I also wouldn't tell anyone at all. I think the worst thing that someone who wins a large quantity of money can do is accept that money on TV, right? Accept your name to be plastered everywhere. If you have the idea of living in the same area, it's probably terrible, bro. Get out of the country. All right. Go somewhere where people do not know you. I understand help your family, but only help the ones very specifically that have ever helped you. Right. That's it. And help them silently. They have a house, pay the house off. If you, of course, get enough, like a lot of money, if that's the thing, right? But if you get like 5 million, don't pay no one's house off. Okay. Just invest safely and smartly. IRAs are kind of what I like doing, right? So I would definitely suggest, for me at least, some type of IRA.
When winning the lottery was
cars and all other stuff, I don't care.
A horrible curse. You may have already seen the documentaries in which lottery winners find themselves surrounded by cunning relatives and friends suddenly emerging from the past, all wanting a piece of the pie. You'll know how it can tear families apart, which often sounds like a tale of biblical greed. These are sad stories for sure. The last one might even bring a tear to your eye. 10. Return of the Killer Lover. Aged 42, Doris Murray might have thought she was the luckiest woman alive when she picked up $5 million after winning the Georgia lottery in 2007.
Okay.
It said her plan was to start a trust fund for her grandchildren. But Murray only got to live with her winnings 1 year as her ex-boyfriend came back on the scene begging. She wasn't interested in getting back with him or sharing cash with him, and so he stabbed her to death. He was arrested soon after, a lose-lose situation, which we see is often the case with lottery greed. 9. A murderer in the family. A guy called Jeffrey Dampier had a similar fate, except this time it was family with blood on their hands. 39-year-old Dampier was over the moon when he won $20 million in 1996, and it's reported that he won
$20 million in 96. That's... Oh my God. So that he really probably got like $9,000.
Wasn't stingy
$9 million
either.
Still a lot of money. Still a lot of money, but I wish they would really say the real numbers, bro. Not the number before you get your money taken.
Family and friends with his cash. His sister-in-law and her boyfriend got the idea to take Dampier's winnings, and together they kidnapped him and then shot him in the head. The pair were soon arrested. Dampier's widow was later asked what winning the lottery had done for her husband. "I think it's a curse," she replied. 8. Don't trust anyone.
It's not a curse. You just have to understand humanity. Get your money, and if they forcefully say, yeah, you got to be on TV and things like that, then do whatever you need to do. You have enough money to now hire security. Okay. You do. You have enough money to hire private security. Pay them maybe $100 a year, and you're good, right? And then leave the country.
2009,
I'm not joking,
a man with a great
joking.
name, Abraham Shakespeare, won $30 million in the Florida lottery when he was 42 years old. The former laborer didn't spend big at first, buying just a Nissan Altima and a Rolex watch. According to reports, he was constantly harassed by people who wanted some of his cash. He once told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke. I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is just money." And it got worse. He went missing and was later found buried under someone's backyard.
Think of the average income of the average American, guys. It's not high, right? So if you now have a surplus of money, yeah, everyone around you is going to be begging you for your money. That's just what happens. Don't trust anyone. And get far away from where you were born.
Killer was a woman he'd befriended who had told him she'd help him with his too much money problems. Her name was Dorsey D.D. Moore, and she's currently serving a long prison sentence for first-degree murder.
Listen, she probably got like 2 years in prison.
7. Drinking to the grave. It's happened numerous times when winners have been murdered for their money. All the reports of this happening were in the USA, but self-destruction, well, that's universal. Take the case of Brit Keith Gow, who won £9 million, about $12 million at today's rates, in 2005. Gow got straight down to the business of spending, betting big on soccer, horse racing, and apparently drinking himself to oblivion.
Wow.
He wasn't the brightest of lucky people and got scammed out close to $1 million after giving it to some shady guy to invest. He not only ended up selling everything he'd bought, including racehorses, a top-of-the-line BMW, his executive box at Aston Villa Football Club, and a large country villa, but he got into money troubles. He died of a heart attack, and financial problems and booze were to blame. His friends said the lottery virtually killed him. Winning the money was the worst thing that happened to him. "It's very sad," he told one friend. 6. Taking your own life. Then there's the story of Billy Bob Harrell, who won $31 million in the Texan lottery in 1997. He was followed around like many others by people with their hands out looking for some of his winnings. He didn't hide the fact that he was rich, though. It got so much for the poor guy that he moved and changed his phone number. He also made some terrible financial decisions, and things got worse when he got divorced. It seems it all got too much, and 2 years after he won, still with money in the bank, he put a gun to his own head. Prior to taking his own life,
yeah, I mean, you were married and then you ended up getting a divorce. That means, oh, God, guys, that's a rough one.
He said, winning the lottery is the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Guys, there has to be a way to be able to keep it secret, right? There has to be. If it's forced to be public, then that's just a shame.
5. Losing everything you need. Another case was the curse of Jack Whitaker, a West Virginian who won a staggering $315 million in 2002. Whoa. He wasn't too careful with his cash, having almost $500,000 stolen from his car where he kept a money-loaded suitcase. He later had another $200,000 stolen in a similar way. Then, he was hit by grief after losing his granddaughter to a drug overdose. And then her mother, his daughter, died 2 years later from a drug overdose. They've both been spending his fortune for him. My granddaughter is dead because of the money. She was the shining star of my life, and she was what it was all about for me, he told the press. Incredibly, years later, he said he had nothing left and was a daughter and a granddaughter down. I wish that we tore the ticket up, he said in an interview. 4. Too much, too young. Over in Scotland, a wee lad of 17 called Stuart Donnelly won the lottery in 1997. Not a good year for lottery winners, it seems, and talked about the pressure of being rich. He once told the newspaper that he was scared to leave the house. It was very hard to deal with all the attention I got. I even had people camping outside my house. It put a...
Why do they know where you live? Bro, see, everyone's doing everything wrong. All right. I think these are probably the worst cases. Well, I guess based off the title, right? I mean, but I would definitely say these are the worst cases. No one should know where you live. You have all this money, leave.
Huge strain on me and my family. He was found dead in his luxury home when he was 29. It's thought he died of natural causes, but the press speculates the lottery win played a part in his demise. 3. Back to the trailer park. Here's another story of rags to riches and back to rags. Evelyn Basehor won $3.9 million back in 1985, but she had a taste for gambling. In 2000, she was back in a trailer park, saying she'd gambled all her money away. I won the American dream, but I lost it too. It was a very hard fall. It's called rock bottom, she said. 2. Thug life. Back in the UK, there's a man by the name Michael Carroll called a lottery lout by the press, which kind of means lottery thug. He even called himself King of Chavs. What is a chav? That's a long story, but we guess you could say a chav is a young hoodlum, but more of a white trash type of hoodlum. Anyway, this young delinquent won a massive £9.7 million in the UK lottery in 2002. At the time of his win, when he was just 19, he was working as a binman or trash collector and was still wearing an electronic tag so the cops could keep an eye on him. Winning didn't stop him from getting in trouble with the police. 10 years later, and all the money was gone on what he said was tons of drugs, lots of gambling, and thousands of prostitutes. We're not sure how he or his poor lungs and brain managed it, but he said he had a $2,300 a day crack cocaine habit. What did he have to say about his rise and fall? The party has ended, and it's back to reality. I haven't got 2 pennies to rub together, and that's the way I like it. I find it easier to live off 42 pounds dole than $1 million. Dole means unemployment benefits. He couldn't get away from crime or criminals either. As his money was running out, some blackmailers slit the throats of 5 of his dogs and basically ran him out of town. But not before he paid them over $150,000. 1. A mortal loss. But we'll leave you with the story of all stories, even though we're not sure you can call it a curse. In Thailand, the lottery is serious business for many. It's a way out of poverty for some who don't have many options in life. People make merit at temples and pray for the winning numbers. Superstitious folks get exploited by seers who sell the right numbers. People see winning numbers in dreams, or if someone has, say, a strange-looking fruit growing in their garden, people will queue to pray to it and hope it gives them lottery luck. The numbers might even appear on the license plates of crashed vehicles. A ghost may even whisper the winning numbers in someone's ear. So yeah, it's serious all right. So serious that in 2018, a man called Jirawat Pongfan was absolutely delighted when he found out he had the winning numbers for the lottery and was about to collect $1.8 million. The 42-year-old threw a party and got really drunk, only to wake up and not be able to find his winning tickets. It said he became very depressed after that and wasn't even able to work. He then shot himself in the head. His suicide note read, "I'm really sorry."
Bro, you use a lot of the wrong words. Okay, that's it.
Please don't bully my family. I did win the lottery prize. Apparently, the tickets were never found and no one claimed the prize. After hearing all this, we guess you're thinking you'd be totally different. Are we right? How would you deal with the cash explosion to ensure you didn't become yet another person cursed by a lottery win? Let us know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video, Worst Days in the History of the World. Thanks.
Guys, I can tell you right now, again, I still would not change my overall thoughts here. Winning the lottery, I don't think would be terrible, but I guess it all depends on the type of person who's winning, right? Like, I'm sure there are absolute amazing cases of lottery winners, right? But it seems like the people who are playing the lottery and winning have all these predilections for other things, right, that are affecting them. I think that if you are of sound mind, seeing that amount of money being deposited into your bank account really is not going to change you as a person. Hopefully not, at least, right? Just understand that it's time to go, right? Leave everything you have. Leave everything you have, unless you need it in your new life you're about to lead, right? But leave everything you have and leave the country. Like, pick up and go to something brand new, right? I think if you remove yourself from your environment, you probably will not be stuck like every one of these other people here, right? Bro, like, I would say $3 million would probably let you live for the rest of your life in most other countries outside of, like, the West, right? Seriously. Go to Spain. Have fun, right? Live it up. Stay away from Marbella and you'll be good. Because in Marbella, you'll lose all your money. I'll tell you that right now. 30 million euro houses. It's crazy, guys. For no reason. Lamborghinis everywhere. Don't do that. Don't live that life, right? Like, don't become like a spectacle. Just be normal. Yeah, you have a whole lot of money in your bank account. Just be normal. That's it, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day, and definitely let me know what you guys would do. It's a great thought experiment, guys. Absolutely. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day, and enjoy your day thoroughly.